What's going on, guys? Anthony here, and today I want to talk about how much money I made in my first 3 months as a blogger. Let's face it, if you have clicked on this video, then you have probably considered starting a blog yourself, have already started one, or just want to see how much income you can really make posting articles on the internet. Me personally, I think seeing how much money other people make allows me to see how well I stack up against them and lets me see if I need to start doing things differently in some form or another. Before I started the Centennial Investor, I cannot tell you how many times I Googled,
how much money can a blogger make?
It's ridiculous. So as I said earlier, finding out where other people are is a good way to judge your own progress, to see where you are and how you stack up against others. That is why I decided to do a small service and disclose exactly how much money I made in my first 3 months as a blogger. For many, myself included, blogging is a tool for self-expression. We use it as a platform to allow us to communicate our thoughts with audiences around the world. Personally, I would like to use the Centennial Investor as an educational platform to teach people how to reach financial freedom through passive income investment strategies. This could be stocks, real estate, or any asset that provides cash flow in the form of passive income. But enough of that. Let's get into the real reason why you clicked on this video.
Show me the money.
Well, before I get into the exact money, I need to give you some important notes about how the Centennial came from nothing to, well, barely above nothing to where it is today. This is not an article to teach you how to grow your blog, because obviously I am not there yet. Rather, this is just to showcase you how much money an absolute beginner with no writing experience whatsoever can make publishing articles on the internet. Without any more delay, let's get into the numbers. Well, just one more delay. I gotta go into a little bit of backstory, of course. Before we get into that number, I'm gonna give you a little background information about the Centennial Investor. This is mainly the investments that I made up front to get the website off the ground and up and running. So I bought www.centennialinvestor.com on January 6, 2020. In order to start the website, I used the WordPress premium plan that was about $8 per month. This was billed annually, so I had to pay $64 up front for the website. This combined with the $14 that I paid for the domain name, I had about $78 out of pocket just to get started with Centennial Investor. Now let's take a look at my first month stats. January 2020. In January 2020, I published a total of 16 blog posts with an estimated 462 views from 284 visitors. Now let me go into quite a few disclaimers. I do not believe that this view count nor the visitor count are entirely accurate as to the number of people that actually came to my website. I say this because I guarantee you that in the first month, 90% of these views and visitors came from myself personally. This is because I would just go back to the website in the form of a private browser just to see what it looked like in a third-person perspective. I did not do this to boost my numbers or my visitor numbers in any way, because honestly, I had no intention of revealing these numbers in the future anyway. So if I adjust these numbers for what they actually were, I probably had about 40 views from about 20 visitors in my first month blogging, with the 20 visitors being solely from people that I told about personally, like friends and family. And quite honestly, this is just how it starts out for most people. In your first month blogging, you simply won't get a lot of traffic, if any at all. With all that being said, let's take a look at how much money I made in my first month blogging. In my first month blogging, I made a whopping 14 cents. Time to start using the fancy dinner china, am I right? Just kidding, but this is my actual ad revenue for the month of January. This is after posting 16 blog articles and getting about 400 views for that month. It is important to know that I was using word ads at this time, and I believe that this severely impacted my revenue number. Personally, I would recommend using Google AdSense on your ad provider, as you have a lot more control on what type of ads you have and where they are placed on your website. When I first started my blog and I was using word ads, I was getting a lot of
Foot fungus ads
from WordPress, and needless to say, this did not make my website look more appealing in the slightest. But this leads me to my second month of blogging, February 2020. In February 2020, I decided to make the investment to upgrade my WordPress subscription from the premium plan to the business plan. The business plan cost $25 per month that was billed annually. This came up to a total of $300 for the whole year. Since I had already spent $64 on the premium plan, I was allowed to prorate that amount, so I only had to come out of pocket for $236. So the investment for the month of February was $236. Now if I add the $74 that I spent in January, my total investment for the Centennial Investor at this point was $314. The reason why I decided to go ahead and purchase the business business plan from WordPress. Now I want to take a quick break to say that at this point in the video, my camera actually stops recording, and I didn't realize this till after about 30 minutes of recording. So in video, it'll be about 3 to 4 minutes worth of footage that won't be of my actual face, and I'll just input a time lapse of me editing this video into it. Hope you enjoy it. The reason why I decided to go ahead and purchase the business plan from WordPress was to take advantage of the premium plugins that involve Google SEO tools. I read online that having good SEO tools will help you rank higher in the Google search results, and ranking higher could mean more traffic being drawn to your website. So overall, this seemed like a pretty good idea to me, which is why I decided to make the investment. Moving forward to my stats for February, they look like this. In February, I decided to make a lot of aesthetic changes to the Centennial Investor, as I was really not pleased in the way the website looked at the time. If I wanted people to take my blog seriously, then I knew that I had to make it look as professional as possible. However, throughout all this research, I was still able to publish about 25 blog posts, which is a little bit less than one blog post per day. And with this 25 blog posts came 506 views from 204 visitors. Again, the majority of these views came from myself, as since I was redesigning the website, constantly kept going back to a third-party viewing site to see how it looked from an outside perspective. So let's take a look at how much I made in ad revenue in this month. Let's keep in mind that I am still using Word ads, as I have not switched over to Google AdSense as of yet. In the month of February, I made $8.99 from Word ads, which is a significant improvement from the 14 cents that I made in my first month. Again, as always, I have another disclaimer. Word ads is different from Google AdSense because Word ads has a pay-per-view type of payout format rather than pay-per-click. This means that Word ads will pay you a small commission pretty much any time an ad is loaded onto your site, regardless of whether it is clicked on by a reader or not. This is different from Google AdSense because Google AdSense only pays you a commission once the ad is clicked and the reader completed some sort of action on the sponsor's webpage. This means that it is a lot harder to make money with Google AdSense. This is the trade-off that occurs when you switch. You get higher quality ads, but it's a lot harder to actually make money. So to sum up my first 2 months blogging, I made a total of $9.13. Now, I will probably never see this $9.13 because it is trapped in WordPress. WordPress has a plan similar to Google AdSense where they only pay out once you reach the threshold of $100. And since I have recently switched over from WordPress to Google AdSense, I will likely never reach that $100 threshold in order to be paid out, which is bittersweet in my book. Hopefully I made the right decision and that in the future I really won't miss that $9 so much. But this leads me to my third month of blogging, March 2020. March is when I really got serious about making an income from blogging. I perfected a website design that I thought looked both professional and simple in order to attract people to my website. I also set a goal that I would only post high quality blog posts that were about 1,000 words or more. I felt like this would allow me to give the reader as much value as possible, and I wouldn't feel like I'm just publishing blogs in order to get traffic to my site. So in this month, I finished my website design, started trying to carve out a stake in other social media platforms, and switched to Google AdSense as my ads provider. Honestly, that month left me feeling like a professional blogger. Although I still wasn't making a ton of money blogging, I felt that I had set myself up for success moving forward. And now all I needed to do was stay consistent and stay motivated with posting articles. So here are my blog stats for March 2020. In March, there was a fairly large gap in the amount that I was posting around the middle of the month. This is because I spent a lot of time researching and taking online courses on how to be an effective blogger. However, my overall total number did increase by quite a lot. For the month of March, I got 865 views with a total of 265 visitors. And this month, I began to take advantage of building an email list to allow my content to reach an audience more directly. This, along with some of the other tips that I learned about utilizing social media effectively, definitely helped my blog begin to grow even more. I also want you to keep in mind that I am not using my social media presence at this time to grow my blog. I'm starting from complete zero, a complete nobody, and trying to build it up from the ground up. The only people that I actually shared my blog articles with were the friends that I had that shared the same interests as me. Did any of this really pay off? Well, maybe not yet, but that truly is to be determined. So lastly, here are my Google AdSense earnings from March 2020 and my third month as a blogger. That number says $3.78. Yes, $3.78. This leaves me with a total earnings from my first 3 months of blogging at $12.91. So in conclusion, I wanted to share my earnings with you to show you that starting off as a blogger is not easy by any means. I'm probably going to spend my entire first year as a blogger blogging for free. And I am okay with that because it is a valuable period to allow me to see what works and what doesn't work. It also is a time that weeds out the temporary bloggers. For those who truly want to make a difference with their blogs and not just having a website for posting affiliate links, then blogging for free will bring you the exact same same joy as blogging for $100,000 a month will bring. So what I want to leave you with is a few tips on what I think made me a more effective blogger. Tip number one is don't estimate the power of an email list. I wish I would have started building my email list a lot sooner, but I am still glad that I am starting as early as I am. For a beginner blogger, trying to start an email list should be your number one priority. Tip number two is learn SEO. Now I know SEO may seem boring and a whole bunch of technical stuff, but SEO really is your best friend when trying to rank high in the Google search algorithms. You want your blog to rank higher in the algorithm so you can get more traffic, and more traffic could be more emails added to your email list. And an old saying says, the money is in the list. And my last tip is be consistent and don't give up. The first year of blogging is hard. The second year of blogging probably will be hard too. I am experiencing that firsthand, but I have faith that if I stick with this, the opportunity to educate a bigger audience will present itself. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. If you're feeling extra feeling today, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll try to post more content that relates more to you. I'm new here on YouTube, and as soon as I get monetized, I'll make a video on how long that process took as well. So that's all I have for you today, guys. Peace.